Welcome students to our new YouTube channel PharmaX Take the Division of Excellence. So let's start to the new chapter of modern pharmaceutics, which is liquid dosage form. So in the last we see the monophasic liquid dosage form. So we revise this liquid dosage form as this is the most important chapter for your GPAT exams. So also solid dosage form, liquid dosage form and also gaseous dosage form and semi-solid dosage forms. These are most important and basics of your GPAT exams preparation. So we start with liquid dosage form. So in the liquid dosage form, we see the complete details about this liquid dosage form. So in the liquid dosage form, we see the definition, classification, advantages, disadvantages and preparation of these liquid dosage form and additives and ingredients are used in the liquid dosage form. So these liquid dosage forms are useful because some people have the problem of solving the solid dosage forms, and for the preparation of liquid dosage forms a lot of additives ingredients are needed, such as vehicles, stabilizers, preservatives, suspending agents and emulsifying agents, solubilizers, colors, flavors, etc. Okay, so now I am going to discuss in very easiest way in this lecture, and there are various types of liquid dosage forms like syrup, suspension, eardrop, eye drop, etc. So first we see the definition of liquid dosage form. So this liquid form of a drug dose for administration or consumption, and the route of administration may be oral, intravenous, that means IV route, and intramuscular, cutaneous and subcutaneous, etc. So and also there are different types of dosage forms. They are solid dosage form, liquid dosage form, semi-solid dosage form and your gaseous dosage form. Okay, so next we see the classification of this liquid dosage form. So in the classification of liquid dosage form, basically liquid dosage forms are divided into two parts according to the phases. Okay, and the monophasic liquid dosage forms, the monophasic means only one phase is there, and that is the only the liquid phase. And for the internal use, the syrup, mixtures, linctuses, elixirs, parenteral preparations are classified in internal use, and for the external use, gargles, mouthwashes, lotions, nasal drops, ear drops in the external use. And next one is biphasic liquid dosage form. So this biphasic means two phases are there, that is a solid phase and a liquid phase. So in the biphasic liquid dosage form, there are two types. They are for internal use, there is suspension, and for external use, there is emulsion. So next we see the classification of liquid dosage form. So in the classification of liquid dosage form, there are two types. There is monophasic liquid dosage form and biphasic liquid dosage form. So these monophasic liquid dosage forms are further classified into two types. There are first one is internal use, and examples are syrups, mixtures, linctuses and elixirs and parenteral preparations. Okay, and external use, and in the external use for mouth there is gargles and mouthwashes for mouths, and for skin there is lotions and others are nasal drops, ear drops, eye drops and throat paints. Okay, and biphasic liquid dosage form, there are two types, internal use and external use. For internal use there is suspensions and external use is emulsions. Okay, next we see the most important advantages and disadvantages of the liquid dosage form. So in the advantages, so the liquid dosage forms are very useful for those patients who have trouble the solvings, and the rate of absorption of the liquid dosage form is so faster than the solid dosage forms, and these liquid dosage forms are flexible to take a proper than those the solid dosage forms. Okay, so the next we see the disadvantages. So the liquid dosage forms needs a lot of special storage conditions, and these liquid dosage forms are affected by the microorganisms and due to the presence of the sweetening and the flavoring agents, and they are less stable than other dosage forms, and the problem of container breakage. These are the disadvantages of the liquid dosage forms. So next we see the types of additives used in the liquid dosage forms. In that, for the preparation of a liquid dosage forms, we need a lot of additives materials. These materials are known as active pharmaceutical ingredients. That means your APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients. They are, first one is vehicles. So the vehicles are those materials that they are chemically inert and they don't have any therapeutic value. And but these vehicles, that means but these agents are used in the formulations of liquid dosage forms to improve the stability, patient's acceptability and function of the dosage forms. And the examples of aqueous vehicles, they are water, glycerin and alcohols. So the water, glycerin and alcohols, they are aqueous vehicles. And also the examples of oily vehicles, they are vegetable oils and mineral oils. Okay, second one is stabilizers. So the stabilizers are those materials used to increase the stability of the material or the formulation by preventing the degradation of the product, and according to the material it varies. Okay, so next one is preservatives, and the preservatives are those ingredients used for the preservation or for the protection of the formulation from the attack of the microorganisms. They are preservatives. And examples of the preservatives are alcohol, benzene, etc. And next one is suspending agents. The suspending agents are those excipients which are useful to help active pharmaceutical ingredients to stay the suspended into the formulation and prevent the cake formation under the container of the formulation. And the suspending agents are using in the preparation of the suspensions. Next one is emulsifying agents. So these emulsifying agents are those surface active ingredients used in the formation of the emulsions, and it is useful to absorb the water oil droplet interface. And the examples of the emulsifying agents, they are gum, acacia and the tragacanth. Next one is solubilizers. So the solubilizers are those materials, they are used to increase the solubility of a material to improve the bioavailability. So the solubilizers is material used to increase the solubility and this material to improve the bioavailability. And the examples of these solubilizers, they are polysorbates. And next one is coloring agents. So the coloring agents are used in the liquid dosage form to improve the acceptance of the consumers. And examples of natural colors, they are titanium dioxide, carotene, ferric oxide, etc. They are natural colors. And synthetic colors, they are erythrocene and tetrazine, etc. They are synthetic colors. And examples of flavoring agents, they are apple, ginger, clove, rose, peppermint. They are used as a flavoring agents. And the sweetening agents. So the sweetening agent are used to overcoming the unpleasant taste of the formulation. They are sweetening agent for to masking the taste and the taste being sweet, and also they overcome the unpleasant taste of the formulation. They are sweetening agents. And the examples of sweetening agents, they are sucrose, fructose, saccharin and sorbitol. Okay. So there are two types of liquid dosage forms. They are monophasic liquid dosage form and biphasic liquid dosage forms. So the next one is monophasic liquid dosage forms. So the monophase means the one phase, and this monophasic liquid dosage forms refers to a liquid dosage form that contains one, two or the more components in a one phase, and that is a liquid phase. Okay. And next we see the advantages and disadvantages of the monophasic liquid dosage form. And the advantages are the monophasic liquid dosage forms, as it's a liquid dosage form, so it's easy to administer via any route, that means by like oral route or and parenteral etc. route of administration. And the rate of absorption of the drug is faster than the solid dosage form because the drug is already the form of a solution. And also, as it is a homogeneous, the uniformity dose distribution is more accurate than other biphasic liquid dosage forms like suspension or the emulsions. And the process of formulating is quite easy. That means very easy process of formulation, and the process of formulating is faster than the suspension or the emulsions. And the disadvantages of monophasic liquid dosage forms: these monophasic liquid dosage forms are quite difficult to transport and store than the solid dosage forms, and it needs to be stored in a cool and dark place, and the stability of this type of dose is reduced by hydrolysis or oxidation, so they have a shorter expiry date than the solid dosage forms. And also there are some major issues like precipitation and microbial growth, etc. These are the disadvantages of the monophasic liquid dosage form. Then next we see the whole classification of monophasic liquid dosage form. So monophasic liquid dosage forms, there are two subtypes like internal use and external use. For internal use there are syrups, linctuses, mixtures, elixirs and parenteral preparations. And in external use for the skin is liniments and lotions. And for use of the mouth there are gargles, mouthwashes and throat paints for the mouth. And use on body cavity they are ear drops, douches, nasal spray and nasal drops. So next we see the monophasic liquid dosage form for internal use. The first one is syrup. The syrup is an aqueous or water mix preparation, and the syrup contains 60% to 85% sucrose, that means sugar, or a sugar substitute for sugar free preparations. And in the syrup it contains medicinal substances, and in some syrup flavoring agents, and sometimes the flavoring agents are not used. And the syrup is an oral preparation, that means only for your oral route of administration. Next we see the examples of syrups. The examples of syrups are chlorpheniramine, malate syrup, chloral hydrate syrup, etc. And these syrups are for your cups and various diseases curing, and these are liquid dosage form for your oral preparations. And also the gapnesium syrup for your cups, terbutaline sulfate are used in the cup syrups, that means in the expectorants. Okay, so next one is elixirs. So the elixirs are hydroalcoholic sweet liquids, and they are water and alcohols, and with or without medicinal substances. And these elixirs, it is a clear aromatics for oral use only. And the examples of elixirs, they are dexamethasone and elixirs, etc. So the example of elixir is dexamethasone elixir. Next one is linctuses. So the linctuses are viscous liquid preparations for oral use only, and normally it is used for the treatment of cough and sore throats. They are linctuses, and they are viscous liquid preparations for oral use only. And the examples of linctuses, they are codeine, linctus, etc. And liquid meant for external administration, liquid used in the mouth. So the liquid used in the mouth, in that first one is gargles. So the gargles are aqueous solutions that normally contain the antiseptics or the antibiotics to treat the throat infections, and it contains the some flavoring agents and coloring agents. And the examples of the gargles are povidone iodine and gargle, and chlorhexidine gargles. So examples of gargles are chlorhexidine gargle and povidone iodine gargles. Okay, next one is mouthwashes. So the mouthwashes and aqueous, these mouthwashes are an aqueous solution with a pleasant taste and odor, is used to clean and deodorize the buccal cavity, have an antiseptic and astringent activity. So these mouthwashes are we use in the after the toothpaste used in the morning in at bath time. Okay. Unpleasant smells. And the examples of mouthwashes are antiseptics, phenol derivatives. And next we see the throat paints. So the throat paints are viscous liquid preparations that contains one or more active ingredients, and it is normally used for the mouth and throat infections. And the examples of throat paints are phenol glycerin and compound iodine. These are throat paints. Next we see the liquid meant for external administration in the liquid instilled into the body cavity. So for in the use in the body cavity, they are eye drops. So the eye drops are highly sterile liquid preparations administered through the ocular route to administration. So the eye drops we see in the ophthalmic preparations. Okay. So and the examples of eye drops are Optive eye drop and eye dews. These are the examples of eye drops. Next we see the nasal drops. So the nasal drops are liquid preparations with medicinal substances. It's administered through the nose trills. It is used as an nasal decongestant, cold allergies and respiratory tract disorders. And examples of these nasal drops, they are oxymetazoline nasal drops, xylometazoline nasal drops and NaCl nasal drops, that means sodium nasal drops. And the eye drops. So the eye drops are highly sterile liquid preparation administered through the ocular route to administration. And the examples of the eye drops are moxifloxacin eye drop, timolol malate eye drops and carboxymethyl eye drops. So these carboxymethyl, moxifloxacin eye drop and timolol malate eye drops are the examples of the eye drops. These agents, carboxymethyl cellulose, is most commonly used in the eye drops preparation. So next we see the enemas. So the enemas are aqueous or oily preparations. It is injected through the rectum for cleansing and empty to the bowels or the diagnostic purposes. Okay, so the enemas are aqueous or oily preparations and it is injected through the rectum route for cleansing or empty the bowels of or the diagnostic purposes. And examples of enemas are liquid paraffin enemas, etc. Next we see the liquid mint for use of skin, and for skin there are liniments. So the liniments are oily liquid preparations for external application of the skin that rub actions to the affected area. Normally it is a use for relieving the pain and stiffness in the muscle spasms and arthritis. And the examples of liniments are camphor liniment, chloroform liniments. So examples are camphor liniment and chloroform liniment, etc. Next one is lotions. So lotions are aqueous topical preparations with a low to medium viscosity. Normally these lotions are used to moisturize the dry skin. And examples of liniments are calamine lotion and BB lotions, etc. And that means lotions are calamine lotion and BB lotion, etc. Last one is paints. So the paints are liquid solutions for application to skin or mucosa. And examples of paints are betadine antiseptic paints and Magenta paints. So the paints are liquid solutions for application to skin or mucosa, and examples of paints are betadine antiseptic paints and Magenta paints, etc. Okay, so there is a complete of this chapter, liquid dosage forms. So hope you like this chapter. If you like this chapter, please comment on comment section and please share this video to more and more to your GPAT aspirants and your CET aspirants too. And please like, share and subscribe to our channel PharmaXTech and stay connected with PharmaXTech. Thank you for watching this video and stay connected with PharmaXTech and stay tuned for latest updated videos. Thank you.